Welcome back to the channel here. So if you watched one of my previous videos, you know that I just bought this 2009 Dodge Challenger SRT8. So I'm in the process of restoring the car. To make a long story short, this car has 36,000 miles on it. There was a boatload of PPF on the paint. As you can see how much I took off and how yellow it was. Just completely gross PPF. So I took that off the paint, and while I didn't make a video on it, I didn't take it off the correct way. I didn't have a heat gun. I did not want to use like a torch like that, because that's just not the correct way to do it. And I don't want to show you guys the incorrect way of how to take PPF off. So I ripped this off by hand, and you can see there is some residue left on the paint. And while dealing with that yesterday, while I took all the PPF off, you can see, I mean, it was everywhere on this vehicle. So while I was dealing with that, you will notice here, you can actually see really good. So I will show you here, I already took this Ultimate Compound, Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. I had to step it up a little bit here. I was using the finishing polish, which works fantastically, actually right here. I've only ever had to use this ultra finishing polish on my vehicles, on the truck, on the 300. That's basically all I've ever used, and the paint is pretty much perfect on those two vehicles. And that just wasn't doing it. So you can see here, more specifically on this paint, how bad the etches are in the paint with the water spotting. So that Ultimate Compound wasn't enough, and you can see it even more here. So this is the untreated. That's the paint that's washed, that's untreated. As we move over here, we can see that's the paint that I treated with the Ultimate Compound, but it still doesn't look great. There's still some watermarks, as you can see. There's some etches in the paint and stuff. So those are the two main things that we need to do today. And you can even see right here, it's terrible. It's so terrible. So I got some products to try. The hard water spots, the etching on the paint, that's kind of the least of my concern right now. My biggest concern is trying to get this old adhesive off. So I was driving around all morning. I picked up some different products here. We're gonna try them out, although I think I know which one I want to try first. But we have the least powerful, the Goo Gone Automotive Goo and Sticker Remover. Bumper and window stickers, probably not going to work for the PPF. And then we have this 3M Auto Advanced Adhesive Remover. Helps remove tar, attached tape, and bumper sticker adhesive. So we've got that. Got our gloves along, of course. And then we have the 3M General Purpose Adhesive Cleaner. So I'm going to put this in a spray bottle here. And I am probably honestly going to try this first, just from what I've watched on different YouTube videos here. And we are just going to spray this on the paint. You know, be careful of the ghost striping here. But we're going to spray that on the paint because, as you can see, this whole bumper is sticky. This whole bumper is sticky. That whole bumper is sticky. So we have got a lot of work ahead of us trying to get off the adhesive where that damn PPF was. So we're going to get started here and apply, we're going to apply some of this 3M General Purpose Adhesive Cleaner first. And then we're going to take some, because I'm really not worried about what I do to the finish of the paint right now, because I have to go over it with the orbital polisher. Anyway, we're just gonna take some clean paper towel here. This is actually just a shop rag. It's just any of that blue stuff you can pick up at Menards or Farm and Fleet or Home Depot, whatever. So we're gonna try that first. Throw this into a spray bottle. Try it first, and we're gonna see if we could take off some of this adhesive here. So that is the plan. And after that, I did pick up 2 products here. I did get these to essentially rub off the adhesive when we get to that point. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the paint. It's going to be fixed anyway with the compound and the polisher. But I did get 2 products here that I really liked that I saw on YouTube. Water spot remover by Griot's Garage, and a product that I've actually seen advertised on Facebook as well, Chemical Guys Heavy Duty Water Spot Remover Gel. So it's a gel, and you know, you shake it up, you apply it with the applicator pad, and then you essentially apply, and it should lower or get rid of those mineral deposits on the paint. Already enough here, just with a little bit of polishing I did, the paint essentially looks way better than when I bought the vehicle. So we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna find a spray bottle, and we are going to hopefully get this adhesive off. Whew, this is a lot from that icky PPF. All right, we're gonna actually test this out on a little inconspicuous area right there. So we put it in a little spray bottle. It's clear. I really should wait until the blower stops working. You don't want to spray this while there is a fan going or a blower, but we're gonna spray it just because of the fact that it, you know, sprays everywhere. So we're gonna let it kind of soak on this adhesive here, wherever the adhesive was. We're just gonna kind of let it soak. This is non-damaging to the paint, mind you. So we're gonna let that soak. And then we're gonna grab a paper towel. If I can grab that quick. And just kind of fold it up. And then we're going to try to essentially just rub all this crap off, which actually, it's doing a phenomenal job of it. Stuff is kind of stinky, just be warned. So honestly, this is taking it off really well. I am going to come back to this with some more rags, and I'm gonna spray it and let it soak again. And then I'm also gonna come back with those little yellow tools. But to tell you the honest truth, I just got all that off. I just got all of it off. So, wow. Stuff works like a charm. It's all off. You can rub your hand across there. So that was just, what, 5 seconds of soaking, 10 seconds of soaking? It leaves the paint looking really nice. Not that it matters because I'm going to go over it anyway with that. But that looks amazing. So that adhesive that was on there is off. It's all gone. Just with rubbing it with a nice paper towel. You know, this adhesive line right there, which you really can't see, you can sort of see. I'm not too worried about that. Essentially what I'm going to do with that is polish that off. So now what we're going to do is, when that fan's off, we're going to take this adhesive remover and we're going to apply it to some of these harder to get places. So we're going to let this soak. Kind of get it there too. We're just going to let it soak, and Then we're just gonna rub it off with a towel. Okay, so we have let this soak for a good 10 seconds. So not a super long time, but you can see some of this stuff is a little bit harder to take off. So what we're gonna do now, yeah, you can see it's still pretty tough. It's working, but it needs a little bit more of a soak. So this heavier duty stuff takes a little bit more. So now what we're gonna do is respray. I'm actually just gonna try this area first. And what I'm gonna do here is take out the yellow spreaders and try that. But I'm gonna let this soak here for 15-20 seconds. All right. So that is working actually really, really well. I've just got one of these yellow filler type deals here. Great name for this tool. I just picked this up at like a Napa or something, just by the filler area. So what I'm doing is just rubbing this over, and that's gone. Rubbing that over any adhesive that's left. This PPF adhesive is the adhesive from hell. So actually what I'm gonna do after I get this car finished with this is I'm gonna wash this again, just to get whatever is left off of the actual paint, because this is taking a while and I don't want to ruin my paint. Yeah, so there's still a little adhesive on there, no big deal. You can see here we're getting that adhesive off. It's coming off very nicely. Sometimes that edge gets dirty, but we're just gonna do this for the rest of the car. And you can see here, this is the adhesive from hell. Look at this. Oh my God, it's coming off. This is just gonna take major time. Like that whole edge is adhesive. So this just may take a little while and a lot of soaking. We'll rejoin here once I get the majority of this done. But so far, I'm not even trying the other products. I'm just using the 3M adhesive remover, the general purpose. And so far, it's doing an excellent job. We'll rejoin in a little bit. So I switched to another product here, and I tried it. It's the 3M Auto Advanced Adhesive Remover. To tell you the honest truth, this and that work exactly the same, so it just depends what you have. But I do have a mask on now, as you can see. You know, when you're taking adhesive off, just realize that you're going to have some scratches, and you're going to have to fix the paint. So, at the end of the day here, I'm just going to use up this can of what I have, because I have a bumper that's full of this icky adhesive. And from what I found, both work the same. So essentially you just spray, you get a glove on here. Essentially what you do is just spray the 3M adhesive remover, just like so, onto the paint. This is a plastic bumper, and I'm right next to the vinyl overlay sticker. And then you grab your handy dandy scraper and you just scrape it off. I apply this stuff very liberally, and you shouldn't have to worry. It says on the directions to don't let drip, but I really don't care about that. I am just applying it liberally because I want to get this off. Half of this car was PPF, it seemed like. So it does do a good job at getting everything off. You know, once you're done with it, you'll want to go over it with a paper towel, of course. And I did get that 3M general purpose adhesive cleaner because I know this tiny little bottle is not going to last. And you're just going to want to make sure you do some paint correction here after you're done. There's no getting around it unless you don't care about your car. There's no getting around the paint correction step after you take adhesive like this off of your vehicle. So you can see we're just working on it here. I'm not even going to try the Goo Gone on this because I know damn well that isn't going to work. This is turning into a big process, and we're having some fun doing it, huh? But hey, that's why we love vehicles, right? And you can see how easy this is coming off after, you know, you spray it a few times to let it to penetrate into the actual adhesive. You can still see there is some, there's some scratching and whatnot on the paint. You know, the easiest way after this is, yeah, you can see the scratches. It just sucks. It just sucks, guys. There's no good way to take off the PPF adhesion from hell. So, you know, you just keep going and you keep working on it, and, you know, you work on it till it's off. And then you go over with a compound and you compound it out. There's no getting over it. And well, I'm extremely upset right now. There's no better way of doing this. It sucks. It really does. You know, you hate to do this to a very nice example of the vehicle, but what are you going to do? You know, and I'm really glad I'm doing this here because there's not a lot of good YouTube videos here. Sorry. Not a lot of good YouTube videos here on how to get rid of this PPF adhesion. And I'll split this video up just to specifically points here of the PPF removal, the adhesion removal, and, you know, the water spot removal. But after I get done with this here, I'm going to try to cure the water spots, and then we're going to give the car a wash and do the final step, which is detailing the vehicle. So we'll rejoin here in a little bit. Oh, all right. So we're just about done here. It is, oh shoot, I've been working on this for almost 3 hours, and about half the car was PPF. So this is a laborious task. Like, I'm not gonna lie. The mirrors were covered. I mean, everything was covered. It helps to have water when you're working on it, but the hardest part was the front of the car. So, and I am not quite done yet as to where, you know, I can wash this thing. So, what I'm going to do next is go around the vehicle, see if there's any other, you know, PPF that needs to come off, which there shouldn't be. I should have most of it. The only area that I need to really work on here would be the front of the vehicle. So that's where I need to go to. And I've essentially worked on the front of the vehicle for a whole hour, and there's a little bit of 2 hours. There's a little bit of desperation kicking in when, you know, you're working on this and it just isn't coming off. I used half of this 32-ounce can and a spray can of that adhesive remover, and you can still see there's parts
bits and pieces that are still stuck on there. What I'm going to do next here is, first of all, get my truck out of here, and I'm going to hand wash this car, but I'm going to do a two-step hand wash. So first, I'm going to wash the car with Car Pro Reset, and then I'm going to wash the car with Dawn dish soap. It's perfectly clean. I don't care if it mars the paint. I really don't. Because I'm going to go over, after the washing and drying process, I'm going to go over and fix all these watermarks on the paint. And actually, to tell you the truth, I may fix the watermarks on the paint first and then move to the washing process, since the paint is already clean. It's just got some of these, some of that glue residue on the paint. And I'm sorry I have a mask on. It's really cold outside. I don't want to open my garage door. This stuff is, I wish I would have put a mask on earlier, I guess. But you can see some of the damage to the paint. I'm really hoping that I can get that back. And for right now, we're going to try just finishing up any little last touches here, and then we're going to try that water remover, that hard water spot remover. And then we're going to get this truck out of here, and we're going to wash the car and move on to the polishing process. So essentially, at the end of the day, this is a Dodge Challenger. I showed you where I had PPF. The whole grill was covered with PPF. The decals were even covered. The sides all the way through and there, and part of the hood. So when you do this to a vehicle, if you ever have PPF that you need to take off, get a can of this stuff, get a mask, get some of these filler squeegees, detail squeegees, and please make sure that you take your time. This is testing my patience. I am telling you, you have to use a lot of force. You have to use a lot of patience, and you have to use a lot of 3M adhesive remover. All right, we're going to finish this up.
We're moving on to the next step here. So if you're following along, you've noticed that I have some hard water stains on the vehicle. And there's a great example of that. So if you rub your finger across, you can just see and feel the mineral deposits of the hard water that the previous owner had. So we have two products here we're going to try, and it's the water spot remover from Griot's Garage and the heavy duty water spot remover. It's a gel from Chemical Guys. So first we're going to start with the gel, and then we're going to try the water spot remover here and see what one kind of takes it off the best. But if we look at the directions here, you want to clean the surface before application, shake product well, always test, blah, blah, blah. Apply in a 2x2 area at a time, buff off excess, then neutralize gel with soap and water or detail spray before moving on to the next area. So essentially, I am just going to use a little applicator pad and rub this on the paint and see how well it does as getting some of those hard water stains off of the car. We've got our 3 drops here on the microfiber pad, as it says in the instructions. And you can see we've got some watermarks on there, and it just says rub around. And we're going to give it a shot here. So apparently this is supposed to remove any or all of the watermarks. So we're just rubbing it around on clean paint. That's super important.
And of course, you know, I am, like I said before, I'm almost going to do my whole car with this. And like I said before, I am going to do a detail of this vehicle right after I get done washing it. That's hence why I took the PPF off. But we're just going to continue with this, and then we're going to wipe it off. And then we're going to see how it does. I'm really curious to see here how this product works at getting off those nasty hard water spots. I mean, I've never seen paint this bad before when I first bought the car. I really should have did a before and an after. But, all right. Okay, we did our little job. We're going to grab a nice towel, if we can find one in this mess. There we go. And we're gonna buff it off. So let's buff this bad boy off. It's kind of a tough product to buff off. Well, so what we're actually going to do here is grab some of this final touch. Probably doesn't help that I have heat blowing on the car right now, but the final touch really does a good job here at getting rid of that product. And wow, I'm really trying to look here. Wow, amazing. Guys, I'm not even going to try. There are some stragglers here, you know, if you look at the paint, but it's a night and day difference. It's truly a night and day difference. So if you could tell, the paint is basically rid of any hard water spot, and that's amazing. So this product here is the real deal. I do maybe want to try this. Do not let dry. I'm going to actually stick with this here, guys. This heavy duty water spot remover. I could see one straggler right there. We're going to drop some of that product right on the paint. Grab this little applicator pad, work it in. You know, you just got to use some elbow grease and work it in. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could probably use a orbital polisher with this, but I'm not going to take that chance. I'm just not going to do that. So essentially, I'm just doing this by hand, wiping it off, not allowing it to dry. It really works well here if you have some sort of a spray to spray on. And boom, it's getting all those very noticeable ones out. Some of the not as noticeable ones, it is not getting out. But to do the real test here, I'm going to do this area. I'm going to work this area here, and I'll get a before and an after. This is a really good test of the product to see how good it does. So there's before, and I'm going to do it here, and we'll get the after. That's the after. That's the after. So you can see there is a little bit of the product still on there that I just didn't buff off yet. But besides the scratches to the paint, there is no more hard water spots. Zero. I mean, we could really get down and close at this. I got nothing. I see nothing. This is phenomenal. So that's about as easy as it's gonna get here. I'm even looking into the light and trying to see if I can see any hard water spots, and by golly, I can't. So we're just gonna go through, I'll come back and revisit, but we're just gonna go through the rest of the car here, and we're gonna, of course, start with the roof and then work our way down and get done with this.
This is great. Holy crap. This is the real deal stuff here. I mean, these were some of the worst. As you can see, that was the brunt of it. But even polishing back here, I wasn't able to get rid of all the, you could see, I wasn't able to get rid of all the hard water spots. Not even close. So, I mean, it's just great how much this works. So, I'll revisit here in a little bit.
We have got to the end of our journey, getting off the rest of the adhesive and getting off the rest of the hard water spot remover. So what I did for the primary part of the vehicle, the flat spots, I used the chemical guys, which worked excellent. Some of this car needs to be washed, of course, right now, but some of the spots are just so stubborn that you still can't get out. So I'm going to see if I can polish using the Ultimate Compound and essentially get the rest of them out, as I need to compound this car anyway. For some of the 90-degree parts going down, I used the Griot's Garage water spot remover. That did a good job. It didn't do as good as the chemical guys, but all the flat spots I used the chemical guys for. And now we're just going to go ahead here. I want to wash this car first. I want to wash it with Car Pro Reset. And next, I'm going to wash it with just pure Dawn dish soap. I need to get all this stuff off the best that I can before I go to polish. So the car is essentially ready to go. I've been working since about 9. It's just about 2. So by the time I get done drying and stuff, it'll be just about 3. So I have about 6 hours. I'll have about 6 hours into the car today. That doesn't include any of the other time that I've spent on it. So just keep in mind, if you buy a car with PPF on it, you are going to have a headache. Especially an older car. This is an 09. You're going to have a headache. But the products I use, if you have any questions, ask me some questions here on in the comments section. And I will rejoin after I wash this car. But I'm going to start washing here, and we'll have a closure after I get done.
I did a dual method wash here. So I first washed it with Car Pro Reset, sprayed it off. Next, I washed it with a little tiny bit of Car Pro Reset and a lot of Dawn dish soap. And that should take most everything that was on the paint off. One little oopsie here. I have one little oopsie. And that is right there. And that essentially is because of the adhesive remover that I used. Some of this vinyl here is a little discolored, but that'll come back. So at the end of the day, I have to say I'm very, very happy with how the car turned out so far, especially with this adhesive that was on there. I'm curious to see how everything is going to polish and compound tomorrow. That'll be the next step here. But this was a long day, and it was a very rewarding day. You know, once you turn the corner, it's really nice. But you get to a point where you can't turn back when you are, getting rid of some of this material, that adhesive on the paint. A lot of this is going to come off during polishing tomorrow. You can see there may have been a little oopsie right there too. But otherwise here, I'm actually surprised at how unscratched all this is, considering how hard I was reefing on it. But it'll come out in the polishing process. So we're going to polish her up tomorrow and call her a night. So there it sits. There she be. We're done for the day.